everyone, my name is Elena. Welcome to today's tutorial where I will show you how to make this top. It's a very easy top. It's made out of squares and they are connected as you go. The only measurement I needed for me is the circumference of my bust. I am lucky enough to not have to add squares, and the circumference of my bust is approximately the same as the circumference of my hips. Not the yarn, but the way how this pattern is made. The squares are stretches, so you will end up with a figure hugging top. And even the difference between the bust measurement and hips measurement, if it's small relatively, the top will sit and you will not have to add or take out any squares. To be honest, I don't know how to adjust it to where you would have to add or take out. So if your figure is approximately like mine, or if the measurement of your bust is approximately the same as your hips, definitely this tutorial is going to be for you. If your bust is larger or smaller than your hips, I would suggest making a crop top and just wearing a high-waisted skirt or high-waisted leggings or pants. You will not have to sew anything but the shoulders. And that's the beauty of this tutorial, and that's the ease of this tutorial. Also, you can make this top into a dress. Just keep adding as many rows as you want. So how I started this top is I made a square, then I connected to it the whole line of squares. I think I have 11, but I'll go into more details in the tutorial. And then I started building on top until I reached the underarm area. I did end up having an odd number for my top, so I left the largest part for the front, so I have a little drape here in the neckline, and the remaining, the back is straight. If you end up having an even number, it's going to be even easier, so you'll just stop in the underarm area and carry on the front and carry on the back and sew the shoulders. I'm still thinking if I want to leave it as is or make a dress. I'm not really a dress person, especially if it's a figure hugging. Don't really feel comfortable in that, but the top, this is what I have. Also, this top is made all the way up to the neckline, which covers all the front, and my philosophy is that you don't always have to have your boobs out and your ass out to be noticed by a man and be complimented and look sexy. Just my thoughts on that. And other than that, everything else is going to be in the tutorial. I'm going to give you all the information. The stitches that we're going to be using are chains, double crochets, and trebles. It's not complicated at all. Watch the tutorial, as I always say, and see if you like it, and if you are willing to make it. Please make sure to tag me on Instagram and Facebook so I can see your works in progress, the ones that are inspired by me. And to not make this intro a million years long, grab your yarn, crochet hook, let's get to work. These are the things you are going to need for this project. It's a 4mm hook, a pair of scissors. You might need a darning needle as well. The yarn that I'm using is Stitch Studio by Nicole Carousel. And there is the label. Close up, you can pause and see all the details. The color is melon ball, and you have the number. It is approximately 100 grams, or here you have the yardage and the meters. I used almost 2 skeins of this yarn. This is what I have left from my second skein, and this is the yarn in a close-up if you want to buy something similar. Also, I had a temporary post on Instagram where I mentioned that this would be a good alternative for the Karen Simply Soft Light if you can find that yarn, this would be a good alternative, but this is available only at AC Moore. I think Bernat has something similar as well, so check the baby yarn section. As always, the chart to this square is going to be linked down in the description box onto my Pinterest board. I did make an adjustment in the chaining here in the corners. I don't remember what number they used. I used only 7 because I didn't want the gaps to be too large. It's just not my preference, but you can follow the chart if you like it more. We will start with a slip knot, as any project. The squares are very easy, there's nothing complicated. Chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and close into a ring. Slip stitch into the first chain, like so. Chain 5, the chain 3 will count as our first double crochet, then the chain 2 in between the double crochets, and put a double crochet into the circle. Chain 2 again, and a double crochet into the circle. We have 2 spaces, we need 8 total, so we will add 6 more spaces. Chain 2, third space, chain 2, double crochet fourth, chain 2, double crochet fifth, and if you need to move the double crochets, obviously you can do so. 6 spaces. This is our 7th space, and we will chain 2 and slip stitch into the 3rd chain from the beginning, where we are gonna form our 8th space, like so. Slip stitch into the space to the left, chain 4, that will count as the first treble, and add 3 more trebles into this same space. Yarn over twice, insert the hook into the space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And one more time, yarn over twice, insert the hook into the space, pull up a loop. You have 4 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. We have 3, we will add 1 more, 4. Now here I modified a little bit the chart, so I will chain only 7, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And moving to the next space, we will put 4 trebles into it. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Basically every space will contain the same 4 trebles, only the number of chains between them will change. So this time we will chain 3 and put 4 trebles into the next space. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we are going to alternate. We will chain 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and put 4 trebles into the next space. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you can see a half of square already has formed. Now you will chain 3 and put another set of 4 trebles into the next space. And if you already got the idea, you can totally pause the video and do it yourself. If you are still not very confident, I'll do it with you. So 3, 4. Now we're going to be forming the third corner, so we will chain 7, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and put 4 trebles into the next space. 1, 2, 3, 4. Chain 3 again. Again 4 trebles into the next space. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now logically, chain 7 will follow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we will put the last group of 4 trebles into the last space. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Chain 3 and slip stitch into the 4th chain from the beginning. 1, 2, 3, 4, there it is. Chain 1 and pull up a long loop, cut off the yarn. And this is your first square. You have 4 corners with 7 chains and 4 corners with 3 chains in between. Now we will start a new square following exactly the same steps. We're starting with a slip stitch, chaining 5, closing the circle by slip stitching into the first chain, chain 5, the chain 3 will count as a double crochet and chain 2 in between, and here we're gonna make our 8 spaces, chain 2, double crochet, chain 2, double crochet, all the way around until you have 8 spaces. Now you're gonna need your first square. Our chain 7 can be broken into chain 3. One of them is gonna be connecting, and then chain 3 again. So chain 3. The 4th one is going to be the connecting one, so you are going to connect into the chain 7 space, go from the top, from above, pull up the yarn from underneath, make a chain, and then you are going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. There's your connection. Now you are going to be continuing by putting 4 trebles into the next space. 1, 2, 3, 4. The next connection is going to be into the chain 3. How we can divide the 3? Chain 1, 1 is connection, and chain 1. So we're going to chain 1, connect. You always go from the top or from above, pick up the yarn and pull it upwards and through the loop. That's your second chain. Chain 1, that's your third chain. Move to the next space to put 4 trebles. 2, 3, 4. Now we have the chain 7 space to connect, or corner, so we're gonna chain 3, connect with the 4th chain, so go from the top, pick up the yarn, pull it through the loop, there is your 4th chain formed, and add 3 more, and 4 trebles into the next space. 2, 3, 4. And here let me pause and show you what we have. You can probably see that we connected the 2 corners and the middle, so the 2 chain 7 parts and 1 chain 3 part. Now you're gonna just finish this side of the square, and what you're gonna be doing is basically making a long line of squares where you're gonna be connecting only to the one side of the square. And here you have it, your first square and your second square connected to it. And this is the bottom of my top. I kept adding squares to the bottom line until it fit me perfectly, and I ended up having 11 squares. I think if you can end up with an even number, it's gonna make your life easier, but it is what it is. And also keep in mind that they are stretching. I'm gonna add 1 more square, and then I'm gonna show you how to close the line or close the circle. Now let's pretend that you have finished the line, it fits you perfectly, and you need to put the last square. Okay, and you would have to connect that last square to the first and to the last. We will start as usual with a slip knot, and we will start the square as you already probably know. Okay, now you get to connect it to the first square. We're going to chain 3. The 4th one is going to be connected to the first chain, like so. Then chain 3 again, put 4 trebles into the next space. So this time you are connecting the new square twice, to the last and to the first. Next we have to connect the chain 3, so chain 1, chain 2 is our connection, and chain 3. I mean chain 1 more for the total of 3. And 4 trebles into the next space. 3, 4. Now we're gonna connect the corners, chain 3, chain 1 in for the connection, and chain 3 more, 4 trebles into the space, 1, 2, 3, 4, and logically we will finish this one with a chain 3 and slip stitch into the chain 4 from the beginning, chain 1, pull up and cut off the yarn. And this is how you connected your squares. Now I'm going to show you how to add the second row. It's not complicated at all. I'm just going to show you 1 or 2 squares, we'll see. Again, you will start exactly the same for the first round, same chain 5 and same 8 spaces. Now we are going to start connecting. Obviously your chain 7 from here should be connected to the chain 7 from the first row, so we will chain 3 and connect. You are gonna want to connect in between, as you can see here, these two connected at this point, so try to grab the yarn from the behind and have it kind of in the middle right here. And I like to put it a little, pull it a little tight so it stays secure. And then you add 3 more chains, and then you carry on with the pattern exactly the same. Put 4 trebles, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now chain 1, connect to chain 3 here, and chain 1 again. Then move on to the next space, put 4 trebles in it, now we are reaching the next corner with chain 7, so we will chain 3, and exactly like we did in the first corner, we are gonna connect here in the middle. So grab the yarn and slip stitch and pull it a little tight, and then 3 more chains, and you will finish the square just like you would finish a normal square without any connections, because you have connected this square to the base. And there you have it. So just finish the rest of the square and you will finish it right here. And this is how the connected square of the second row or round looks like, only the bottom. And I will show you one more square where we're gonna connect the 2 parts and 2 will be empty, and from that on you will have an idea how to connect all the squares. So I think it's pretty self-explanatory, but if you still feel unconfident, I'll help you. I started the square off camera, so because you already know how to do it. So we're gonna chain 4 and put the 3 trebles into the first space. Okay, now we're gonna start connecting. Chain 3, the fourth one is the connection chain, and then chain 3 more. Now 4 trebles into the space, 1, 2, 3, 4, chain 1, second one is connection chain, and chain 1, that's our chain 3 connection, then 4 trebles, 1, 2, 3, 4. And when it comes for this corner, I like to connect it right here into this space, the opposite one. So insert the hook, pull up the yarn and through, and pull so it's tight, and chain 3 more, and move to the next space with 4 trebles. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so far this is what we have. We connected this side and this corner. Now we're gonna be connecting to the next chain 3 space. So we're gonna chain 1 Second one is the connection chain, and chain one more. Put another group of trebles. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we have one more corner to connect. Okay. So we're gonna chain 3, and I'm running out of yarn. Okay, connect it to the opposite side from where you're coming. 4th, and chain 3 more, and put 4 trebles into the next space. And since you don't have anything else what to connect it to, you're just gonna finish the square as usual. There's my yarn. And since I don't have any more yarn how to show you, just because you don't have anything what to connect this square to, you're just gonna finish the square. And when you go a full circle around, when you come to the last square, you're gonna have to connect this side, and this side. Basically the connections are the same, only this time instead of 2 you're gonna have to connect 3 sides. And this is how I did my top. I finished the first row or round, then I added the second, then the third, and you can make this a dress. You can make it as long as you want. For the connections, I stopped where I wanted my blouse to stop, and these are the parts where my arms go through, and I just sewed the top only one square for my shoulders. Yeah, so this is the top. We'll see if I will finish it as a dress or leave it as a top. And this is it for today's tutorial. I hope you learned something new today. I hope it wasn't too complicated, because it's not, with the exception that you're gonna have a lot of strugglers to deal with, but it pays off because it looks really elegant, stylish, modest, and sexy at the same time. I hope to see you all next Sunday. Have a fantastic week. Bye bye.